So my dear brothers and my dear sisters, the Prophet ﷺ, he got really sick, and he went to pray with the Prophet, with Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And after they finished, the Prophet ﷺ, he sat in the first step of the minbar. He cannot even climb the minbar, the third step. He sat there, and he looked at the Sahaba Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim. Very beautiful look and smile, very beautiful smile. And everybody waiting for the Prophet ﷺ to give the speech. And the Prophet ﷺ, he gave his last speech. And he concentrated about the rights of the people and the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, As-salatu as-salah. As-salatu as-salah. As-salatu as-salah. 3 times as-salah and then as-salah. There is no plot or space in Islam for the person discard the salah or leave the salah. Yes, my dear brothers and sisters, it was his last message. And then he take care of your wives, take care of your female relative, take care of them. He gave the advice, and he went home, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he died, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after that, in the same day. He knows that, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but he want to give his last message to his ummah, to his people, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And that is our Prophet. He was really care until even he died. He told the angel of death and Jibreel there, who will take care of my ummah? Who will take care of my ummah? And Jibreel replied to him and said, Allah said, whoever say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, sincerity from his heart, he will be in the Jannah. And the now angel of death, take my soul. He's comfortable with that, my dear Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And also, my dear brothers and sisters, the bird of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam called al-Hudhud. The bird of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, al-Hudhud. That bird, he can be the kingdom of Sulaiman, nothing else but that. But that bird, the bird is not a human being, flew all the way to Yemen. Flew all the way to Yemen, to Saba. And he saw people worshipping the sun. They saw people worshipping the sun. When the sun rises, they prostrate to the sun. They believe that the sun gives them energy and life. Subhanallah. And he got very angry, that bird. He came to Prophet Sulaiman, back to Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he told him, I found out people worshipping the sun, and they should worship Allah. Ya Allah. That bird is not a human being. He got so angry for people worshipping the sun rather than worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, as you know in the story of Prophet Sulaiman, he sent the letter to Balqis, the queen of Saba, and she became a Muslim, and everybody there became a Muslim following Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. But the issue is, if that bird find his role in the kingdom, in Islam, in a da'wah matter, can you find it as a man or a woman listening to us now? Can you find your role? Can you do something about it? The answer is yes, you can. And regardless, all of us will make mistakes. All of us committing sin. You know, Abu Mahjan al-Thaqafi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in the battle of Qadisiyah, he was Sahabi, but he was alcoholic too. He was drink. And the Prophet ﷺ sent someone to whip him because he drank. This is the penalty in Islam for drinking. But he went to Qadisiyah. He was drunk over there. He was drunk over there. And instead to fight in the battle of Qadisiyah, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, arrested him. He chained him in the prison. No way to make da'wah anymore, ya Abu Mahjan. And he came to make da'wah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to spread the message of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Now he's prevented to do that because he was drunk. The penalty. So my dear brothers and sisters, all of us will make mistakes, we're committing sin. Does not mean that will prevent us to do and to work for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you are a sinner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiving everyone. Allah Ghafurur Rahim. If you ask Allah for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive. But that does not mean that prevent you to work for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الآن the question now, my dear brothers and sisters, after all those stories and examples, realistic examples, what is your role? What is your part? Ask yourself, what I can do for the sake of Allah, for the da'wah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask yourself this, what I can do. You can do a lot, but number one you have to do, number one, you have to have ikhlas, sincerity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to accept your work without sincerity, without ikhlas. Is number one, you have this ikhlas in your heart, no one else. I work for Allah. I work for the sake of Allah. Not for the masjid people, not for the board, not for showing off, not for money. I'm working for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is number one, my dear brothers and sisters. Any work without ikhlas for the sake of Allah is not accepted. Then you go and work for the people, you're not working for Allah then. But when you have the ikhlas, the sincerity, loyalty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then your action is accepted. Whatever you do, you give the message and don't worry about the result. Please listen carefully to this. You giving the message, your job to give the message, and the result in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tried to give the message to his own uncle Abu Talib. And his own uncle, he helps him a lot. Every Hajj, he was going with him, inviting people for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Abu Talib. But he died, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam next to him say, قُلْهَا يَا عَمَّهِ, say La ilaha illallah. I'll face everybody with this. I'll face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this. Say La ilaha illallah. And he refused to say it. He cannot even give message to his own uncle, the one he was giving da'wah with him. La ilaha illallah. So the ikhlas, the sincerity, loyalty is number one. Number two, my dear brothers and sisters, you have to have a discipline yourself with the rules of the Sharia. Very important is number two. You discipline yourself with the rules of the Sharia. What does that mean? The Quran, the Sunnah, the ijma', consensus of the scholars, and the qiyas, the analogy, the opinion of the scholar, of the ulama. So it's very important to follow that direction, the direction of al-ahkam al-shar'iyya, the rules, the sharia, the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran and the Sunnah and the ijma' and the qiyas and the opinion of the scholar, of the ulama. This is number two. Number three, very important. خاطب الناس على قدر عقولهم. Ali ibn Abi Talib says, speak to the people according to their mentality. Their understanding. If somebody become a Muslim, a new Muslim, so go and memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. It doesn't make sense here. Step by step. Step by step, speaking to the child different than the teenager, different than the old man, different man and woman and so on. So it's very important to speak to the people according to their understanding. Their understanding, what they like, what they hate. Start with that direction, my dear brothers and sisters. Number four, the priorities. Priorities. What is the priority? Remember all the examples we talk, what it was, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ, that means Tawheed. Tawheed, understanding of La ilaha illallah, understanding of Muhammad Rasulullah, that is the priorities. مراعاة الأولويات, call it أولويات in Arabic language, that means priorities. What is first and second and third? After La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, come, let me teach you how to pray. Let me teach you how to make salah. That is really important. And then step by step you learn. Then knowledge takes long time. To become a Muslim, to become a believer, takes one statement, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But to gain the knowledge, that will take more time. That will take a lot of time, my dear brothers and sisters. It's not going to be overnight. Absolutely not. Memorizing the Quran is not going to be overnight. But believe me, Wallahi, if you really fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you have the sincerity, you will memorize the Quran simple and easy. When you have this, if you really want to memorize the Quran, you can memorize the Quran. Regardless your age, how old you are, regardless, believe me with that. And I experienced many people over 60 years old, they memorizing the Quran after 60 years. Why? Because the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we make the Quran easy for the people who want to learn the Quran. So this priority is really important. Number 5, maybe some people will be against it, but concentrate with studying the Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and you don't have to study the Bible and the Torah and what the other people believe. You don't have to. It's not really important here. If you believe in the Islam, concentrate, and believe me, the Islam is very wide, vast, open to learn. We need to take advantage of every single second in our life to learn our deen, to gain knowledge for our deen, our religion. So my opinion, don't study the others until you find yourself really completed everything, Quran and the Sunnah and the Fiqh. Then you go and study the others if you have time for that. Number 6, when the Prophet ﷺ make the Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, the Treaty of al-Hudaybiyah, make peace between him and Quraysh for years, for 10 years, and then the Prophet ﷺ, what he take advantage of? He start to send messengers to different countries, different places in the world, messengers to invite them for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do we have this opportunity? Yes. You are at work, at school, university, anywhere you are. You can give CDs, flyers, brochures, you can websites, it's a vast knowledge you can give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. CDs, anyone can copy CDs and give it and for the sake of Allah. I was in California once, and the people, the MSA over there, they having booth. They have a fair, a county fair, and they have booth or 2 booths over there teaching people, giving Quran and giving flyers and CDs to the people. And believe me, I was there and I saw people, after they took those flyers and CDs, they came to the masjid in the same night and they become Muslims on that night. So can we do it? Yes, the answer is yes, you can do it. Everybody can do it. My dear brothers and sisters, I want you to think for a moment in yourself. If you think for yourself only, you will always become small and little. You think about yourself, about what is around yourself only, you always become small. You always be a little person. But if you think about you and the others, you'll be great and big. Again, if you think only about yourself, you become in a circle very small. But if you think about you and the others, like the Sahaba, what they did, they spread the message to their people, all our tribes become Muslims. So you become a great person, a legend. You must be a legend. People, after you die, say, may Allah give rahmah to so and so. So expand your thinking, the circle of your thinking expanded. You'll be influenced, the others, more and more people, you'll be influenced. And you must know the entrance of every single person. Meaning, if a kids, what they like, basketball, football, try to understand this game in order to speak with them in the same language. 10 years and 11 years they are on Nintendo games and Xbox, and they try to understand this game, to give this message to them, speak to them according to their mentality, understanding what they like. You must know where is the entrance to them. And I give you another example. I say the time is running, but it's important to speak about it. One of the time, Rukana, one of the people that are wrestler, huge man, wrestler, and very tall and very big. And he never got defeated.